Hello, my name is Spence, and if you're still itching for a good Napoleonic movie after watching the Ridley Scott one, may I introduce you to 1970 Waterloo film, starring Rob Steiger, Christopher Plummer, and Orson Welles as Louis XVIII. First of all, I want to say that I do enjoy Rob Steiger's performance as Napoleon. He's much more in command compared to Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of Napoleon. We also get to see his charisma and as well as Christopher Plummer's as Wellington, even though he does kind of come across as a bit too friendly compared to the real Iron Duke. Now let's go on with the movie. The movie starts by telling us who Napoleon is and his achievements, as well as his defeat at Leipzig, and how the Allied armies are now in France, and Marshal Ney, leading a group of marshals, tries to get Napoleon to abdicate. Napoleon resists at first, but after getting news that Marshal Marmont has surrendered, he agrees to abdicate. Interesting fact about Marshal Marmont: he was a friend of Napoleon who became disillusioned with Napoleon over the years, and he would surrender to the Allied army, being labelled as a traitor, which will follow him for the rest of his life. Even King Charles X of France accused him of betraying him, as he did with Napoleon when he failed to quash the July Revolution. Napoleon says his goodbyes to the old guard before he is exiled to Elba, but he escapes, and news of his escape reaches Louis XVIII, and Marshal Ney says to King Louis that he will bring Napoleon back in an iron cage. Napoleon is stopped by Marshal Ney's army and walks up to them and says, "If you want to kill your emperor, here I am," in which Ney and his forces join him, and Napoleon to Grenada, where cheering crowds await him, and Napoleon gives a speech saying that Louis XVIII must be removed from power. With Napoleon closing in on Paris, Louis XVIII flees, and this is his last scene in the movie, a grand total of 2 scenes with Orson Welles. Napoleon returns to Paris and starts a letter-writing campaign to the monarchs of Europe. In this, he calls Tsar Alexander I Prince Alexis, which I find odd, since he was the Tsar at the time and had been the Tsar in 1801 before Napoleon crowned himself emperor. His letter-writing campaign asking the leaders of Europe for peace fails, and they declare war on Napoleon personally. This event actually did happen. Which, how badass do you have to be to have an entire continent declare war against you? Then we go to the Duchess of Richmond's ball, which probably didn't look like this historically because the ball took place in a converted coach house, but I guess for cinematic reasons they didn't want to have the ball in a converted coach house, even though that would be more historically accurate. In the scene, we are introduced to the Duke of Wellington, and later on we are also informed that Napoleon has crossed the river and is at Charleroi. We get some beautiful shots of the French army crossing the border and heading to Charleroi. Wellington and his general staff discuss their plan of action when Napoleon crossed the border and is preparing to move to join up with Blucher's army, and if he fails, he'll stop Napoleon at Waterloo before Napoleon heads to Brussels. Then we get the aftermath of the Battle of Ligny, where Marshal Ney informs Napoleon that Wellington is retreating after the Battle of Quatre Bras, and Napoleon sends Marshal Grouchy after Blucher's forces. Then we get the Prussian side of the aftermath of the battle, where Blucher says my favorite line in the movie, "I am 72 and a proud soldier." To be fair, there are a lot of great lines in this movie. We get a scene where Wellington's army is retreating and is heading to Waterloo, and a grenadier steals a baby piglet, and he is discovered, and after the grenadier says that he's trying to find the piglet's relatives, Wellington makes him a corporal. In a more light-hearted scene, then we get to the Battle of Waterloo, which is the most accurate on-screen and the largest reenacted battle. They got 16,000 soldiers from the Soviet army. Remember, this is a Soviet and Italian film. Bulldoze 2 hills, rebuilt Le Hougoumont and Le Haison, planted 5,000 trees, and laid down 5 miles of road. The actor who plays Thomas Picton is Jack Hawkins, and I think he does a great job portraying the foul-mouthed Picton very well. Interesting fact, Picton is shown to be wearing his civilian outfit. I only later found out the reason why he didn't wear his military outfit was because it had not arrived in Brussels yet. The reason why I bring this up is because this picture confused me because it shows him wearing his military outfit despite the fact that he was wearing a civilian outfit at the time. Some of the special effects in the movie are not great. Like, for example, some of the actors couldn't ride horses, so they had to have them on a rock horse, probably not the technical term for it, and have a screen where it shows the cavalry charging, which can look odd when the horses are moving in a different direction than where the actor is riding. The scenes in this movie are amazing, like Ney's cavalry charge, as well as the Waterloo squares. They also recreated that famous portrait called Scotland Forever, where they have the Scots Greys charging the French lines. Final thoughts. I say the movie is great, the music is wonderful. I'll link some of my favorite songs into the description. I highly recommend you to watch this movie. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. See you next time.